the previous video session, we already discussed about CSMA, that is carrier sense multiple access, along with three different persistence method. So in the present video session, we'll discuss about carrier sense multiple access with collision detection. As we know that in the case of CSMA, this method does not specify any set of procedures in order to avoid the collision. But CSMA bar CD specifies the algorithm to handle the collision. So now we'll consider one scenario in which we are having three different stations. Station 1, Station 2, and Station 3. All the stations are connected to a common medium. So now the station 1, S1, can send the frame, it can send its first frame and it can monitor the medium. Suppose the transmission is successful, suppose the transmission of the medium is successful, at that instant S1 can send next frame. S1 can send its next frame. Suppose the transmission is not successful, at that instant, suppose the transmission is not successful, at that instant the destination node, it will request in order to retransmit the same frame again. In the case of CSMA bar CD, each station monitors the medium after it sends a frame to see if the transmission was successful or not. If it is successful, station is finished. If it is not successful, the frame need to be retransmitted again. So in the case of CSMA bar CD, let us look at the first bits transmitted by two stations, and those two bits are involved in the collision. Each station continues to send bits in the frame until it detects the collision. Whenever there is a collision, at that instant the respective stations need to abort the transmission. To better understand the concept of CSMA bar CD, let us look at first bits transmitted by two stations involved in the collision. So here we can observe that we are having four stations which are connected to a common medium. So initially we'll consider at T1 the station A can transmit the frame. That means during time interval T1, the station A has executed its persistence procedure and starts sending the bits of its frame. At T1, station A can transmit its bits of the respective frames. So now at T2, time interval T2, the first bit of station A is not yet reached to the station C, and station C thinks that there is no other stations are sending the frames, and it will execute the persistence procedures and start sending the frames. That means it will start sending the first bit of the frame. So now we can say that the bit transmission from A, it will be from left to right, and the bit transmission from C, it will be from right to left. So now we can say that obviously the collision may occur at this particular location. So first bit of C and first bit of A, it will be collided over here. So we can say that at time interval T4, A's collision detection occurred, therefore station A, it will abort the transmission. So similarly at this particular interval, C's collision detection occurred, therefore the station C, it will abort the transmission. So therefore we can see that a transmit for the duration T4 minus T1, A can transmit the data. Similarly, the C can transmit during T3 minus T2. So in the present diagram we can clearly observe that. So this is the part of station A frame and this is the yellow part is part of station C's frame. So we can say that the actual collision is occurred over here. So therefore at T4 the station A detects the collision and abort the transmission. Similarly at this respective location time interval, C will detect the collision and abort the transmission. So therefore the transmission time with respect to station A is T4 minus T1. Similarly for station C is T3 minus T2. Minimum frame size. In the case of CSMA bus CD, we need a restriction on the frame size. So we'll consider one scenario in which two stations are connected to a common medium, S1 and S2, station 1 and station 2. So station 1 is sending the data to S2. So now here we can consider one concept that S1 need to identify the collision before sending the last bit of the frame. Suppose S1 identifies the collision after sending the last bit. What happens is, after sending the last bit, it will not maintain a copy of the frame. So suppose S1 identifies the collision before sending the last bit, so the respective frame copy will be available within it. So it can retransmit the same frame during the occurrence of collision. Suppose it identifies the collision after sending the last bit, the retransmission will not be possible because the S1 will not maintain the copy of the frame. Suppose S1 identifies the collision before sending the last bit of the frame, so it can retransmit the same frame because it will maintain the copy of the frame. So as soon as the last bit of the frame is transmitted, S1 will delete the copy of the frame. So therefore the frame transmission time in the case of CSMA bar CD must be at least 2 times the maximum propagation time. So that is frame transmission time TFR, that is equal to 2 times TP. Frame transmission time is equal to 2 times TP. We'll take one problem now. A network using CSMA bar CD has a bandwidth of 10 megabits per second. If the propagation time is 25.6 microsecond, what is the minimum size of the frame? So first we need to compute the frame transmission time. So that is the frame transmission time TFR, that is equal to 2 times TP. So the value of TP is given, propagation time is given 2 into 25.6 microseconds. So that is equal to 51.2 microseconds. So frame transmission time that is equal to 51.2 microseconds. That means the station needs to transmit for a period of 51.2 microseconds in order to identify the collision. So now we can compute the minimum size of the frame. Next we can compute minimum size of the frame. Here bandwidth is given it as 10 megabits per second into the frame transmission time is 51.2 microseconds. So therefore the minimum size of the frame, so that is equal to 512 bits. Suppose in terms of bytes, if you are writing the same value as, so we will get it as 64 bytes. The minimum size of the frame in this case is equal to 64 bytes. Flow diagram for the CSMA bar CD. Initially we can take the number of attempts k is equal to 0. So next apply the persistence method. If it is done or collision, if it is true, check whether the collision is detected or not. If it is false, the transmission is successful. If it is true, the station need to send the jamming signal to make sure that all other stations become aware of the collision. So now we can increment the number of attempts. K is equal to k plus 1. So the maximum value of k is fixed here, it has 15. So if it is true, if it is less than 15, so once again we can create the random number, wait for TB seconds, and we can repeat the actions. So if the maximum number of attempts, if it is more than 15, we can abort the transmission. So this is how the actual principle of CSMA bar CD works. So this is almost same as that of Aloha protocol, but we are having three differences between Aloha and CSMA bar CD. Differences between Aloha and CSMA bar CD. The first difference is the addition of persistence process in the case of CSMA bar CD. Each stations need to follow any one of the persistence method before sending the data. The second difference is the frame transmission. In the case of Aloha, entire frames can be transmitted and it can wait for an acknowledgement. But in the case of CSMA bar CD, we need to check the stations need to sense the medium before sending the frames. And bitwise we can send the frames through the transmission medium. So we can say that in the case of CSMA bar CD, the transmission of the frame as well as the collision detection is a continuous process. So here we can consider a loop in which either we can identify the frame is successfully transmitted to the destination node, or else there is a occurrence of collision. So that is nothing but one loop. So whenever the frame is successfully transmitted to the intended destination, so we can come out from the loop. Suppose there is a occurrence of collision also, we can come out from the loop. Therefore, we can say that in the case of CSMA bar CD, the detection of collision as well as frame transmission, it will be a continuous process. The major difference between Aloha and CSMA bar CD is nothing but the presence of jamming signal. In the case of CSMA bar CD, we can make use of jamming signal, and this jamming signal can be transmitted to rest all the stations in order to aware of the collision. During the occurrence of the collision, one station can send this short signal to all other stations in order to get to know about the presence of collision within the transmission medium. Energy level during transmission, idleness or collision. The energy level in a channel can have three values. The first one is 0. First one is 0. At 0 energy level, channel is idle. Here the channel will be under idle mode. The second energy level is normal. So in the case of normal energy level, the station has successfully captured the channel. Station has successfully captured the channel. And it is sending the frame now. So the last energy level is abnormal one. So here we can say that there is a occurrence of collision within the medium. So therefore energy level is equal to 2 times the normal level. So abnormal level energy is equal to 2 times the normal energy level. So therefore a station that has a frame to send, or if it is sending a frame, needs to check the energy level of the medium in order to identify whether the channel is free, busy or in the collision mode. So we can observe that in the diagram. So this is the energy level. So initially, this is a idle mode or 0 energy level. So during normal energy mode, the frames can be transmitted. So this one. So this is the abnormal mode where the actual collision is occurred. So therefore the energy level during abnormal mode is equal to 2 times the normal energy level. Therefore each stations need to check whether the transmission medium is in 0 level or normal level or abnormal level before sending the frame. The value of throughput in the case of CSMA bar CD, it will be greater than the slotted aloha. The maximum throughput occurs at the different values of G, which is based on the persistence method, or else the value of P with respect to the P persistence approach. So in the case of I persistence method, the maximum throughput is equal to 50% when the value of G is equal to 1. In a case of non-persistence method, the maximum throughput, it may goes up to 90% when the value of G is between 3 and 8. For any queries, please mail me at sadhana.b@canaraengineering.in. Thank you.